Is the real world too weak for you? Then wait for a truck to kill you. Okay, don't actually plan on doing that, because no Isekai main character came back to tell us tales of the Isekai world. But if you want to see some stories about how overpowered main characters kick evil asses in an Isekai world, then here are 10 anime where the overpowered main character gets reincarnated in another world. At 10 we have Isekai Cheat Magician. Not only did they get a free trip to the fantasy world of Altia, but they also managed to cheat their way through the power hierarchy. But just because you cheated at level 1 doesn't mean you're going to have powers to take down the boss in the final level. Both these teenagers like to show off a lot, but the anime also makes sure to introduce proper threats to scale the tension of the plot. Isekai Cheat Magician also builds up a great magic system, one that can grip your attention with its mystery. So, what are you waiting for? Give this one a go! Coming in at 9 is Maousama Retry. Sometimes a story can be a bit too cliché, but the way it executes the concept can keep your eyes glued to the screen. This time we've got the game developer of the game getting stuck in his own game. Does this mean he can find a way out? Nope, because with the appearance of the mysterious girl named Aku, his situation becomes way worse. Maousama Retry doesn't try to be anything special. From the first look, it may seem like a simple redo of cliches with less originality. But on the other hand, this anime is the perfect answer to the question, how can you do cliches right? It also has a large cast, so good luck trying to keep them all in your memory.
You sons of bitches shouldn't hog all of the fun!
Next up we have problem children are coming from another world, aren't they? These children clearly don't have any problems, but they do face a lot of problems when they land in the fantasy world. Huh, they clearly should have changed the title, shouldn't they? Here we follow not only one, but 3 main characters. Izayai Sakamaki, Asuka Kudo, and Yo Kasukabe are children with psychic abilities. But after receiving a letter, they are dropping into this strange isekai world where they're forced to participate in a game. I know what you're thinking. Think of death games like Darwin's Game and Mirai Nikki, but with hella overpowered characters. There's one guy who can stop a wave with a flick of his finger. What more do you need? Knights and Magic comes at 7. Tired of your day-to-day computer job? Then watch this for some inspiration. It happens when a software engineer and hardcore mecha otaku from our world are transported into a fantasy world where warriors use mecha robots known as silhouette knights to fight off powerful beasts. This software engineer is born as Eru Achavelia, and soon realizes that the magic of the world is related to the programming of our world. This allows him to excel in certain areas of magic, as well as become a great mecha pilot. Based on what you heard, you can tell that it's one of the few anime that tries to blend in magic and technology and craft a relationship between the two. And trust me, it works way better than you expect. It's based on a light novel. Let's clear that out of our mind first. Come on, you don't need to have a degree in detective mystery to know only a light novel author can come up with a weird title like that. One day, a regular Japanese salaryman wakes up in a magical fantasy world as the 8th son of a noble. In this noble family, the eldest son inherits the wealth, and the other sons need to find their own methods to make a living. Fortunately, this 8th son, Wendelin von Benno Beimeister, learns that he can cast magic. When the great wizard Alfred finds him, he's soon trained to become a great adventurer. Don't go to watch this anime expecting a regular isekai plot, because it sure has some twists under its sleeve. Cautious Hero comes in next. Anyone ever told you that you're too cautious? Trust me, you'll never get too cautious as the Cautious Hero, because this guy takes that trope to a whole new level, and he's also partnered with one of the craziest goddesses in anime, so their adventures are never gonna bore you. Here we have Seiya, who is summoned by the goddess Ristate to save the world from a demon lord. But Seiya is the so-called Cautious Hero, and decides to flee rather than attack his enemies. He might not be the best tactician you might meet, but he surely knows the best way to flee. Cautious Hero is more of a comedy isekai rather than an action anime, so expect some laughs as well. At 4 is Arifureta. Who doesn't love a good revenge story? So we have Arifureta's little brother in the next entry. We cannot forget how this light novel brought that revenge trope to the isekai genre. Surely not in the level of redo of Healer, but this white-haired guy surely has lost a part of his morality along the way. Meet Hajime Nagamo, who frequently gets bullied by his classmates. While others gain powerful magical abilities during transportation, he only gains basic alchemy. He is soon betrayed by his classmates, and he is dropped to the bottom of a dungeon. Here he befriends a vampire named Yue and slowly learns how to grow strong. As I said, who doesn't love a good old power fantasy ride? Rising of the Shield Hero comes in at 3. We spoke about Arifureta, so let me introduce its little brother. Did that 4th episode break your heart? If you haven't watched it, trust me, it will. Rising of the Shield Hero happens when Naofumi Iwatani is transported into a world where 4 heroes have to defend the nation against monsters. Naofumi becomes the infamous Shield Hero, but much to his distaste, he is betrayed on his very first day and exiled from the kingdom. The rest of the anime follows the story as he finds new allies and tries to prove his innocence. I'd say this is revenge isekai done right. Even though the story sometimes strays too far from the original plot, it's still enjoyable enough to keep you hooked. In the runner-up spot, we have Saga of Tanya the Evil. Ever thought of becoming an atheist? Yeah, this one's gonna help you. After an average Japanese salaryman is killed by a mysterious entity known as the Being X, it transports him to a war-torn world and turns him into a girl named Tanya. Tanya has an increased hatred towards Being X, whom she refers to as God, and to survive in the world and to take her revenge, she decides to enroll in the military academy and rise to the top. And when I say rise to the top, I literally mean rise to the top in any way possible. So she got to kill a couple of soldiers along the way? Yeah, Tanya doesn't care. I won't classify Tanya as evil, but she definitely belongs to the overpowered anti-hero type. And taking the top spot is Overlord. How can we finish a list without mentioning the skeleton lord of Isekai, when a massively popular MMORPG game is suddenly shut down, leaving only a single guild leader named Ainz Olgaun in it? Ainz still has his servants working under him. But with all of the players now gone, other races start to evolve in the world. Ainz sets out to find the whereabouts of the other players in the world. Ainz monologues may force you to think he's the good guy, but this guy does some pretty evil things to be called good. So similar to Tanya, he should definitely head to the anti-hero category. 3 seasons are already out, so why don't you start next summer by binge watching this anime? So there go 10 of the best anime where the overpowered main character is reincarnated in another world. If we missed your favorite anime, feel free to sound up below in the comments. As usual, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification button so you can get updated as soon as we release a new video. Stay safe, anime fans, and I'll see you in the next video.